Hi, thank you for joining me in Melinda's Rubber Room. I am Melinda Pierce and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to show you how to make this card. It's a quick and easy card once you get all the measurements down, and I have all those measurements for you so you can follow along quick and easy and hopefully make this card yourself. So I'm going to point you down to my work surface and get you right to it. Okay, so I have, get you all situated here so you can see everything. Okay, so I have all of the measurements over here on the, right here. So you can hopefully zoom in and see all of those. So you're going to start with this time I'm going to actually make the card with the Christmas season stamp set. It's in the new holiday catalog, along with the Peaceful Deer stamp set, which is also in the holiday catalog. And I'm going to be using Cherry Cobbler as the base of my card. The base of the card measures 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored by 4 1/4. I'm then going to have a mat that measures 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and I've already embossed that. You can see on this card how I embossed the background there on the crumb cake. That is using the textured bark embossing folder, I believe, and then I lightly brushed over it with the crumb cake to bring out some of that embossing in the background. So hopefully you can see that. So this time I'm using the Parisian Flourish, I believe is the name of the embossing folder. It's a really pretty folder. I haven't used it much, but I wanted to use it on this card. So that's what I used for the mat. And I'm going to go ahead and attach the mat to the base of the card. And when you're using an embossed image and you're attaching it to a base of a card, you want to make sure that you use really strong adhesive or liquid glue, and that's going to make sure that you have a better bond between all of those ridges on your card, on the mat, and the card base itself. So make sure you make really good contact with that. Because it is embossed, there's highs and lows on the paper, so not all of it makes contact with the actual base of the card. So you want to just make sure it's well attached there. Okay, now you can see on the sample here, these pieces are all coordinated and layered together. So what I'm going to do is take my 3 pieces of white cardstock. The measurements are all here: 2.5 by 4.5, 2.5 by 3.5, and 2 1/8 by 2 1/8, and those are all in inches. I'm going to just take a little bit of adhesive, just a tiny little bit. You're going to actually remove these pieces after you've stamped. So you're just going to layer them one on top of each other, like so. Make sure that that is straight. And then I'll layer this one on top of those. Oops. I attached the tape to the wrong side. I'll just rub that off. Okay, so if you have tape, if you guys apply tape in the wrong place on your card, you can usually just rub it off, or you can get a adhesive remover and that will get it off as well. So this one I'm just going to place on like that. And I'm going to make a quick check on my card to make sure that there's enough room for my pieces to still have a layer around them. So it looks like it's going to be a little tight to me, so I'm just twisting my paper to remove that adhesive bond and moving those closer together, like so. Move this one a little bit more. I'm just making sure that there's enough room to have my mat pieces go around as well and still be on the front of the card. Okay, so that looks good. Still have a little adhesive there to try to remove. Grab my trusty adhesive remover. If you don't have an adhesive remover, sometimes you can just use a really soft eraser too. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to just stamp over all 3 layers all at one time. And I'm going to start with Evening Evergreen, and I'm going to stamp my evergreen pieces. So I'm slowly trying to make my Christmas cards. So hopefully you'll be seeing a few more of those as I do my Zoom sessions. Now you can see that some of these are not making contact all the way, and it's okay if there's a little bit of a border around with the white. And if not, you can just, if there's too much of a border, you can just fill it in like I just did. This is just pretty much random stamping. The only thing I want to remember is to leave a little bit of room here for the words. I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp the words now just so that I know that I have enough room there. And I just want to make sure that I have an even surface here when I'm stamping, you know, so it's flat and not too many layers. Otherwise, I'm not going to get a good impression there. Okay, and I'm going to go in with Pear Pizzazz, just to bring in a little bit lighter green. Kind of fill in some of these spots. So obviously you can use this design really for any time of the season just by changing up your stamps. And I have another stamp here. I'm just going to stamp off just so I get a little variation in color. Just a really light background image there to fill in some of the white. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of red dots using the cherry cobbler again. And I have the bigger berries here, but I think I'm just going to use the little dots today. Okay, I think that's going to do it. Just like that. I think I want a little bit more green down here. So I'm going to go back in with the Pear Pizzazz and just kind of stamp off, I think. Just like so. Okay, that looks better. Okay. Now I also have mats here that all correspond with the white pieces of paper. And those measurements are right here. So they measure 2 3/4 by 4 3/4, 2 3/8 by 2 3/8, and 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So all I'm going to do is lay those mats out and twist your card that you just stamped on to release that adhesive and match those up with those bases or with those mats. Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and adhere those pieces to our mats. Like so. And if you're new to following me, all of my contact information is right up here. You can contact me on Facebook, on my Facebook page. I have all the information for upcoming free Zoom sessions, along with all of the measurements so that you can make the featured project with me. I also have a lot of YouTube videos listed there as well, and a lot of samples that I've done and some of my other friends have done are all on my page as well. So I would love it if you would follow me on my page. And if you'd like to purchase any Stampin' Up! Products that you see on my page, you can do so by clicking on the Shop Now button at the top of the page. Okay, so I'm attaching the smaller square to the medium-sized rectangle, and I'm trying to match up these pieces that I stamped when the pieces were all together. And I want to make sure that I only put tape on the part that was going to be adhered to this. I'm sorry, I was out of the screen. I want to make sure that I'm only putting tape on this side of the square and not right here, because this is going to be raised up partially on a dimensional. So I just matched up this square with this piece here, and now I'm going to match this one up with that one. So this card was one of the cards that we did during our Zoom session. I have to apologize, it was from a couple weeks ago. I kind of late making my videos. So I have this one and one other one to make today. And then I believe I'm all caught up. Okay, so because these two pieces of cardstock are adding some dimension, I want to add dimensions here so that it all lifts up pretty much the same when it's mounted to my card. Just like that. Okay, and then all I think I need to add to this is a little bit of bling. Let's see if I can find some real quick. These little guys will do. I'm just going to kind of sprinkle these around to add just a little something. These are the gilded gems in our current catalog. Stampin' Up! Catalog, that is. Move this one up just a little bit. There we go. So you can see how much those little gems add to the card itself. Just gives it a little extra bling there. And this is another card that I actually did with the same stamp set, the same embossing folder, just a little bit different design. I even used the same saying on there on the bottom. All right, and then I think I'm just going to make this pretty simple on the inside. Just going to take a piece of white cardstock, stamp a few little leaves to match the front of the card. And let's see if I can find another Christmas stamp to finish this off. Maybe just a simple Merry Christmas. This one will do. On the photopolymer stamps, sometimes it's better to put them down on the work surface, like I just did, and then pick it up with your ink block, with your acrylic block. That way you're not twisting your photopolymer stamps when they're adhered to your acrylic block. I've noticed sometimes my stamps aren't on my block totally straight, so that's one way to avoid getting some little strange kinks in the photopolymer stamp when you're mounting it. Okay, so I'm just going to Open that up and adhere this, and my card will be done. All right, there we go. Another Christmas card ready to be sent out. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope that you will make the card. I would love it if you would post it on my Facebook page. If you do, I always like to see how other people make the cards. They always turn out differently, and I love seeing the different variations. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial, and I hope you learned something new. Be sure to click on Melinda's Rubber Room on Facebook to follow me. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and feel free to leave comments and share the video. All right, hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye-bye.